All right, welcome on everyone to a incredibly important game two. And obviously, Dallas needs to win this to have a ton of chance in this series, but they also need to show that they can just deal with all of these issues that the Celtics caused for them in game one. And I think as we listened to more of the analysis and thought about it and rewatched sections of the game and all that, it became clear that maybe Boston was dominating game one even more than we thought.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And you and I spent an extended portion of the Dunked On pod we did after the game talking about whether Dallas was in more trouble offensively or defensively. And going through that discussion made me more concerned about where the Mavericks are overall. We'll see how Luka's health is during this game. He was notably downgraded from probable to questionable and then playing. I always expected he was going to play, but maybe that indicates that his injury is worse than we thought at the time.
Yeah, they just showed it there. This chest contusion that was bothering him at practice. So I think we're going to come out and see Luka be very aggressive here early. That was what the defense was giving him in game one, and he's got to start hurting these guys enough as we see Holiday starting on Luka here. One thing I wish I had talked a little bit about more, and we actually just saw it on that play, although nothing really happened, is Luka goes right into the lane here, goes over the right shoulder and scores on White. Is that I think they need to do more off-ball screening as yeah, maybe the Mavs should know who they're guarding.
That would
That's a
be
little
ideal.
bit of a problem there, and good pressure in the backcourt by Braun, and now they did kind of dummy it up. They go back to Braun on Luka on the second possession here. There's Washington. Kyrie getting White switched on to him, forced to his right. Kyrie goes right in, and he scores as well, particularly with Porzingis not starting again. The Mavs have to attack the basket in these minutes.
I think it's also significant that Daniel Gafford is still starting this game. I believe that is a mistake for the Mavericks, and that's a mistake for the Celtics.
Yeah, Brown drove on Luka. They had the matchup, but good help, and Brown's pass was not on target. White switching on to Kyrie. Kyrie working with Jones. Horford stepping out on him. That was a bad play by Washington. He made that three. It was pretty contested, and I think above the break, he and Jones maybe need to be more aggressive. That was probably another key. But right there, they had Horford switch on to Kyrie. Should have just got it right back to Kyrie. Now it's Tatum going to go after Luka, gets off the ball. Brown going at Washington, goes up over him, and just short. Brown tips it out of bounds. It'll be Dallas ball. So Dallas, is that 7 points in 3 possessions here? Yeah, it is. They're trying to get more. Holiday switching on to Luka. Now they go at Horford in pick and roll. Luka trying to establish himself. Horford is defended him well. Tough Dirk fade by Luka, left short. Gafford, another place where they didn't dominate, was on the offensive glass. But by going for that offensive rebound, the Celtics get it, and their 2 buckets have come on easy transition plays.
Yeah, that was basically a 2-on-0 after the hit-ahead pass.
Kyrie switched on to by Tatum. Here's Washington, plows in, and he's stopped at the rim. Holiday takes it away from Gafford, but fouls him from behind.
Yeah, it's a foul in the rebounding action given to Drew Holiday is who got, I believe, who got that foul. And foul trouble, of course, will be important. This is a Tony Brothers crew, but there isn't really that kind of aggressive on-ball defense to be penalized in this one.
Now Luka getting to his spot on Tatum, and this is exactly what Dallas needed here early. Again, they've got 9 points in only 5 possessions, 180 offensive rating. There's Tatum trying to work on Doncic. Doncic goes for the Matador reacher on. Holiday in the corner goes right around Gafford. That's not good enough from Gafford. Not good enough from Jones either, and not good enough from Luka. So a lot of guys failed in that possession for the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie switched on to by Holiday here. They want to go at Horford. Holiday not switching that time. Interesting. He was able to get over it. Now Gafford it's loose. Kyrie going for the ball, and we're going to get another loose ball foul. That could be Drew again.
They called this one on Horford.
Okay. So
And
Dallas's effort level higher so far, and they are very committed to attacking the basket. We'll see if that changes when Porzingis comes in.
And we'll keep an eye on it. Both of Dallas's fouls drawn have been in offensive rebounding action.
Luka against Brown. Now they do switch that with him. Hesitation going right. Luka gets to a spot, floats it up, and that goes in. It rimmed in short, bounces in, but that's a fine shot. Boston can outscore that shot, I think, from Luka.
Better defense from Tatum than I thought he did in the game one against Luka.
Tatum now Gafford switching out onto him. Tatum blows by him, goes right in, and no foul there. Luka actually prevented that make. Here's Irving. Thought about the shot from way out and used that to get to the basket. And what a block that was by Derek White. Unbelievable. The hang time he showed to come down and get that. Look at this. He is beaten, goes up way too early. Kyrie double pumps, and White still gets the block.
So one of my early takeaways from this game is Boston's getting Gafford out on the floor more often. I think that's going to work really well for them. Lively's back in.
Porzingis isn't, and there's Kyrie hitting that three. Kyrie getting going early, and I think we will see Porzingis now with Dallas, their best offensive stretch of this series. So they did actually start reasonably well in the first quarter of game one as well.
And so we'll presumably see Kristaps Porzingis on the floor here. And let me pull up the shot charts because they weren't loaded before. Dallas, so as logged by the TD Garden scorekeepers, Dallas has one shot in the restricted area, 6 in the upper paint, 2 mid-rangers, and 1 3.
Yeah, although some of those have been a little bit closer to the basket. But I mean, the big thing is just that they're just beating their man and getting to those spots, right? It's been Luka and it's been Kyrie, and even Washington was more aggressive as well.
From Corey, are we sure that Dallas had a good defense this year? They absolutely did after the deadline. And a couple of different things. Gafford's rim protection was a really big difference maker there. And but so yes, during that stretch overall, is it mega dominant? Like one of the best in the league? That's more of an open question. But good, legit, sure. From David AC, how can Dallas get Luka's passing going? Part of what Boston's approach, it hasn't been as prominent in game 2 as it was at sections of game 1, is helping off of guys that do not create real advantages for Dallas. So like there were these plays where they were helping, Drew was getting to the nail off of Washington or off of Derek Jones Jr. or however it was going. And those are, if you're getting nail help there, it's actually not creating as good a shot. So repositioning a few guys could be useful there, but it's hard. I mean, the Celtics present different offensive matchups than basically any other team because they can defend competently at every spot while keeping a center back.
Yeah, and certainly, I think the biggest thing that they can do to open up his passing is make him be more respected as a scorer. They didn't really double team him that much. He was 12-26, and it obviously wasn't able to set up his teammates that much. One thing I want to say with Porzingis coming into watch for, and I wish I had talked about this on the pod. I thought about it more when I was just like laying around yesterday, was I'd like to see Dallas use more off-ball screening, and to do that, set the screen with whoever the center is guarding. And so the one of two things will happen then, right? Like say you set a screen for Derek Jones, or sorry, for your center with the guy that Porzingis is guarding, probably Derek Jones Jr. Porzingis can either switch onto that guy off the ball, and then he's in the action, which is what you want. Or then that guy, it's probably Tatum, is getting screened. He's behind the screen setter, and then he's going to be too slow switching on to Luka, and Luka can get downhill. And then whoever sets that screen for the center, he can then by that point pop out to the corner, and that can kind of help solve their geometry problem of having Washington and particularly Jones Jr. above the break too much where they're not going to get guarded as much. So I think that more off-ball screening, and they try to do a little of that with Kyrie on the first possession, but screening for screeners and forcing the Celtics to make a decision would be very useful. Now, Dallas is just not really known for that sort of like off-ball offensive execution. They're not getting like system buckets against these switches the way a team like Golden State would. Here's Brown off a corner screen. Holiday wide open over there. And we're frozen here. Are you frozen?
Yeah, I think we're all seeing the same thing.
Well, I'll try to tell you what happened. I think they got an offensive rebound, and Horford is shooting a corner three that airballed. All right, so that's what happened. Now we're back here. Luka going to fire from three immediately. That missed. Good box out by Braun on Lively, and Boston has semi-transition here.
And still no Porzingis.
Yeah, interesting. Here's Lively switching on to Tatum. They're trying to gap off of Braun more. Tatum waves everyone away, and he goes for the step back, and that's not good enough from Tatum. You can't hold the ball for 10 seconds and then shoot a jumper without ever trying to attack. Now Tatum on Doncic. Doncic getting in, but that was Holiday who knocked it away. Doncic upset. 3-on-3. Left it for Braun. Back to White. And he's fouled by Washington. Washington asking for a review. It's too bad he fouled him because Lively was there to erase that shot had he not.
I think Kid's going to challenge it.
Look at that way.
I saw the assistant coach signal.
We did not have a challenge during the. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and it hit.
He might have got wrist there. It's close.
The other thing that might be motivating here is that. Oh, I'm just thinking about recovery. Is that the ball actually bounced in bounds?
Yeah, it won't be a clear recovery.
It'll be a jump ball.
I think it'll be a jump ball. Would that be Washington? Did he have any fouls before that?
That's his first.
Okay, so that's not a huge concern. Would be a shooting foul. This is going to be very close. We'll have to see the angle from the opposite side because I can't remember what game it was in the conference finals. We had this where it ended up being. It was one of the Minnesota Dallas games, I think, where it's more kind of down in this area onto the forearm. And so I don't know where exactly he's going to hit him. It looks like it's kind of like right about here. So it's I think they kind of err on the side of making that a foul, unless it's just clearly only had. Yeah, you can see Sam Hauser. Look at this. Sam Hauser and Pritchard are actually explaining that to each other. We have like the feed that's not on the TV, so they're equally mystified, it would seem.
Obviously, we're really, really early here, but some of the cleaning the glass numbers that stand out to me. 144.
Hold on.
Oh.
Unsuccessful challenge. Sorry, Tony Brothers.
No, that's fine. No, because I was on a separate tab. So, Dallas first shot half court offense 144 in the early going. Boston 57. We're too early to really get into the transition stats on that. And Dallas no early turnovers. Boston has 1. Oh, actually, they both have 1. I don't know why it's logging it differently. Yeah, that might just be cleaning the glass.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten really. Yeah, Dante Exum is bombing it too. Everybody is doing the same thing. I guess we learned a lot. Yeah, Exum is still. Who is he explaining that to? Who is that? It's somebody who is not in uniform. It might have been like a 2. It might have been like Omax.
And so that means, of course, that Dallas has no more challenges for the rest of this game. How surprised are you all that Tillman is just no longer a playoff player? Somewhat. His offensive season this year, both in Memphis and the limited amount he played at Boston, was pretty horrendous. And so there was this concern that if he can't do that, I still believe in him as a defensive player. So not floored. And then Tillman also was, part of the luxury with Boston is that they need him less when they're healthy. And so I thought he was going to be more of a factor when Porzingis was out. I'm disappointed that it didn't end up coming to pass. More that Tillman just wasn't good enough rather than that Joe Mazzulla underutilized him. So it's not fantastic.
Yeah, and you didn't know if Horford had gotten hurt. They also didn't play any real opponents in the East, and perhaps there would have been one, like say the Sixers, in which they would have needed him a little bit more. Yeah. So the hand, maybe that's another uh, aspect of this is he doesn't ever hit the ball. He only hit his hand, right? So I think you have to get at least some ball in that circumstance. If he literally only hits the guy's hand, it just tears the hand off. That's kind of what he did right there.
Mm.
Yeah, but actually, since this game's on ESPN, could we break away to just discuss the whole Dan Hurley thing right now? Would that be a good idea?
I mean,
That really like helps like celebrate the highest level of our game, right? All right, so Kleba is in. Porzingis is in as well. He is guarding Kleba. Jones was pressured well. They're getting into their offense extremely late here for this ATO. Irving on the quick attack. Kleba, good contest. Porzingis might have even gotten a piece. Lively, no jump ball. Going to try to fight it up, and he lost it. I think he might have landed on someone's foot, too. Here's Brown. Oh, what an inside-out dribble, and he crushes a huge two-hander.
And Lively tries to save it under his own basket, leads to not an easy 2 points, but an impressive 2 points for the Celtics.
Well, that's not under your own basket, I guess.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
That's the one they always say, like the under your own defensive basket. Here's Luka kicking out Kleba. That looked very awkward. He did not really have his feet together. It's kind of jumping to the side. Again, he has that shoulder issue. He made one in at the end as Kleba now is just going to slam into Tatum. That was very poor defense by him as well. And
importantly, though,
Tatum.
That's the drive that we wanted from Jason Tatum the last time he did is go early. Actually, the drive to the left has worked better for him against Lively. Just take that hard right to left dribble, get downhill, and then something good's going to happen.
Remember when there was like a big emphasis on carrying randomly when that what is that that push crossover like that was actually being called a carry? He doesn't have his
John
hand
Morant,
under the ball. Like that's a legal move. But it was very effective. Now Tatum with Irving on him. Tatum has wide open underneath and had the pass to him, but he was fouled, taking it away. And Boston starting to look much better here just in these 2-3 possessions. The entrance of Porzingis, more aggressiveness from Tatum. Let's see. Yeah, Kleba, why is he going like full off of 1 foot, like jumping across it? Like, how would you not commit a foul in that circumstance?
If you miss him entirely, that's how you don't commit a foul.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Oh, nice lefty behind the back here from Tatum. Porzingis working on Jones, and Jones has committed a foul. And that's just Jones is saying he went sideways, but that's not the case. Jones had his arm forward. You got your arm forward, and they can do whatever they want to you basically on a shot, and you're going to get called for a foul. And this is not good enough from Jones to give up an isolation bucket here from Porzingis. Yeah, that right arm is forward. That's the shot that basically that play, the guy's arm being forward, Porzingis kind of bringing it up from his left side into that arm. That is the number one reason that Kristaps Porzingis had these crazy efficiency numbers in the post this year, is people couldn't stop following him on that move.
So a couple quick things for me on this is that Dallas had no fouls in the very early part of the game, then committed 4 in quick succession. So now Boston is shooting free throws for the rest of this, and they can draw some non-shooting fouls.
Yeah, Boston right back in it here. They've scored 6 straight. So they're trying to save energy by Kyrie and Luka as Kleba tries to go in on Porzingis, and man, he got completely stuffed. Kleba has been awful so far. 0 for 3 from the field. Holiday, they kick it out. Now Tatum against Green. Tatum getting space, gets to his spot. That's a better shot right there for him. He at least tried to drive, although with Jones Jr. waiting on the strong side box, maybe he could have moved it. Yeah, you see they're trying to have someone other than Luka bring the ball up, and the Celtics are pressuring that guy too. Here's Luka, and he's going to get fouled from behind. And Luka, I think they looked at the film and saw that Jason Tatum was not guarding particularly well in game 1, and they've gone after him quite a bit here.
And that was a lot of reaching by Jason Tatum, including that's even worse. That's even worse than Matador reach around because he's already completely past him. It's almost impossible that you actually affect the play there.
Yep. But Doncic not close on that first free throw. Yeah, Now, you'll see this a lot of times where you'll look at the film, like, an Isaac Okoro type of guy. Like, we've seen this with Draymond where they're like, okay, they're not guarding me. I got to be more aggressive. And so guys come out and they try to be more aggressive, but like, you haven't done that all year. I mean, you can only expect limited success if that's not who you've been all year to suddenly turn into this aggressive player. Now Brown gonna run pick and roll Porzingis. They've got Lively on Porzingis. Brown on the attack. Hauser, beautiful Spain pick and roll set. And Hauser can't catch up. Boston still hasn't made a three. Luka way ahead, and Hauser did well to get back. That will go the other way. Lively couldn't control it, nor could Jones.
Yeah, it was a nice free safety play from Hauser. Sees the pass, can't get it himself, but makes
Now
the catch.
Brown at speed goes to a nice move, and he walked. That was good defense by Lively, who did not hold up very well defensively one-on-one, doing a better job so far tonight.
And Lively there basically Jaylen Brown wasn't under control, and so he kind of like was moving, looking for his angle, and I thought I saw him slide his foot.
Luka, no, they don't actually switch this. This is interesting. They do switch with Tatum, though. They're not even bothering to guard Kleber. Look at this. And Luka doesn't even look his way, and he hits a really difficult shot. But there's nowhere to go because of Kleber. Again, they didn't even think about guarding him above the arc. Now Brown ripping through. Good help by Kleber that time. To throw it to Porzingis. That's where he likes to post up, but he's close to a 3-second violation here. Kleber keeping him off that right shoulder, and Porzingis did very well to recognize how he was being played and go left shoulder. Lively plows into Tatum. They get the switch off the screen. Tatum not really in that deep of a stance. Luka putting him in the mix. Goes to his right. Porzingis is lurking. Luka tried to throw it behind, and he got traveled. That was better defense from Tatum, but it all happens because Porzingis comes over, and there's no passing angle because the paint is totally packed again. Yeah, look at Kleber above the arc. Double team. Luka tries to throw it over his head. There's just nothing there. And Luka, I mean, he's had to go to this like tough Dirk fade. There's Porzingis. Whoa, that's a quick pick and pop. Didn't quite have his feet set. Now they get the step up. Luka getting around Porzingis, but Holiday did well to get back in front, and Luka takes what the defense gives him there, pulling up, going to his right. He is making some very difficult shots right now to keep Dallas in front.
And I like going after Porzingis in the early part of that action. See if you
yeah.
can get the seam for the shot.
Now Tatum gets Luka switched onto him. Tatum nice inside out, kicks out. Hauser, and Luka's too late there, veering back, tipped around. Dallas lucky to recover it here, but they're not going to get anything in transition, it looks like. But Washington's still on the attack. Porzingis is back, and Washington does score on a difficult floater. Dallas making pretty tough shots right now, but the most important thing is that their defense is picked up from the first game. Boston yet to make a three. Yeah, Luka was looking elsewhere. Brown went too slow. Now he sees it. Now he gets it off. And we're going to get a hold here on Green trying to box out Holiday, and that'll be free throws for Boston.
And Dallas's defense is looking better because Boston is 0 for 7 from 3, and especially the Hauser looks were pretty wide open. Like, I think that regressing to the mean will be useful for them. But still, definitely better effort, better execution overall. So these are Holiday's first and second free throws. I was thinking he got to the line before, but that was Derek White.
Irving will return, Kleber out. And yeah, I think Dallas is going to run into some problems. Now, Kleber did help their defense, I thought, pretty well, other than that weird foul that he had. He made some nice help plays, but I think they really only have one big that you particularly like in this series. Now it's Holiday on Luka, trying to keep him off that right shoulder. Luka trying to bang in. Good defense there. And there's a foul on Holiday. That'll be his second. And Holiday not happy with himself there because Luka tried to move him. Watch this. Luka tries to move him. He did not really move, and then he tried to move him again. And Holiday reaching in at that same time just didn't have the timing quite right.
Yeah, and so instead he got a lot of wrist. And Drew, I think he generally manages foul trouble pretty well. I would consider keeping him out there a little bit longer, but it's in the first quarter and the game is relatively close. I don't think I'd stress about it. I just pull him a little early.
Horford back, Porzingis out. So this first quarter, and we'll see how things play out. Obviously, and Boston has been kind of missing 3-pointers. They could play better offensively, but this has been kind of more what I was expecting from Dallas offensively in the series. Like tough shots, but like pretty capable of making them. Like a decent floor to their offense. And then this is the best that they've guarded so far. There's Brown going to try to go at Luka between the legs. Good help by Lively. Good closeout, but Irving with a bad foul on Hauser. But you see what Hauser is capable of doing with quick release in the corner, and now he's going to get a couple of free throws out of it.
Do you like Jaylen Brown attacking Lively better or Luca better? I think I like him attacking Luca better.
Yeah, I think so. I think I do. Now, I would be trying to. This is something that Boston did in game one that we probably didn't talk about enough was when they were switching, which is what they are doing. Boston started everything off with an immediate screen to get Lively switched on to someone other than the center when it was Horford, so that your Horford, you can get someone on, get Lively at someone that they're even less likely to want to leave than Horford.
Is this? Oh, I was assuming. I'm like, is this a blood rule stoppage? Because it's like this isn't a timeout. So I guess I don't know who it is, but someone's getting checked.
Yeah, Missoula generally unconcerned with early foul trouble, so Holiday staying out there with 2.
And he's a lot closer to the pin on that than most coaches are, and so is Brad Stevens.
Yep. Yeah, it's something I've always really appreciated about the Celtics approach. Yeah, Luka looking fine here early, I would say,
Yeah, absolutely.
with that chest contusion and, of course, the sprained knee that has plagued him. Who's at fault? ESPN for reporting on earlier the Lakers for doing this during the finals. No, the Lakers are going to do whatever they're going to do. Like you just don't need to discuss that during an NBA Finals pregame show, particularly because like their actual analysis is so sparse of like the game in the pre
And
and certainly
and
at
and
halftime, right?
and
At
also
halftime they
because
have 2 minutes of actual content.
well, and also because it's not done. Like the idea that you can wait if
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that on the pod.
Oh, not right now. We got time.
Great defense by Braun on Irving here. Braun still on Irving. Irving tried to draw the foul, and then he just stepped out of bounds or traveled, one of the two. I did. If they called it out of bounds there, I thought I mean, it was probably a foul. He got bumped, but I don't think. Yeah, Kyrie against Braun one-on-one is not an advantage matchup. They got to do better to find somebody else. Basically, anybody else. I think. Porzingis back in here after a brief rest. Kleba is in too. So Kleba and Gafford together. It looks like they wanted to get more, and that's going to be another foul by Kleba and more free throws for Porzingis. And that's where Boston has stayed in it. Dallas, they've clearly come out as they did in the third quarter, trying to be more physical, but you don't want to do that against a Tony Brothers crew.
Yeah, so this is these Porzingis free throws are the 9th and 10th for the Celtics, and I don't believe the only shooting foul they've drawn was the Derek White PJ Washington challenge.
Yeah, we should remember that
It's in
for
my
the
notes.
pod. Yeah, great. So Irving has 2. And I think that'll be somewhere that they're going to pick at. Actually, Adam Himmelsbach just said on Twitter that they were calling for going after Kyrie, and that was another thing I wanted is Porzingis screening, maybe even off the ball, for Kyrie's man. Green slips out of there. Now Irving stepping back. Hauser off of Washington, gets back in front. Washington into the lane. Has to kick out, but that's a duck of a pass. Down to 5. They have no one to create here. It'll have to be Gafford. Now it's Kleba moving behind the screen. Good box out. Nope. Loose ball foul. Stay here. That'll be free throws for Gafford. And they've Brown wants a review. They should not do it. Despite what that fan behind Joe Mazzulla is saying. This would be free throws, so it's not a total low value challenge. Let's see. Nah, that's a foul. He's got his hand. Yeah, this is going to be. They should absolutely not challenge this. This would be a terrible challenge, especially because Gafford's he's going to make 1 out of 2 of these probably. Yeah, excellent non-challenge here. And there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Dallas's offensive rebounding has been a little bit better. Well, how many assists do they have?
They have 2 assists on 9 made baskets.
All right, well ahead of game 1's pace. And he missed them both, but Washington just snuck in. Celtics were lucky to recover that. Celtics are very good at tipping the ball away from offensive rebounders like that. Now they get 2 on the ball here.
Oh, they could have called that chuck.
No foul. Yeah, they could have easily called that, but they got Porzingis on Kyrie. They got a double team here. Porzingis backs off, fires, and that's money right there. That was a very nice look. And but the difference between that one and some of the ones he took in game 1 that I didn't like is it's 3 steps closer. Hauser trying to hound Washington. Washington into trouble here, goes down. Mavs somehow still have it. Irving getting it back against White. They go under on him. Rescreen. Porzingis is out there. Here's Irving on the drive. Tough finish, but
and
because they hedged.
Horford was guarding. He was focused on the mano-a-mano with Gafford there instead of coming to help contest.
I don't understand why they don't just play a drop coverage. I guess they just don't want Kyrie to get off in this. They figure there's no one else, but they got to bring more help. Here's White off a little pick and pop. Boston still fiending for a 3. Braun picking up Kyrie. They have legions of defenders to throw at Irving with a 5-second differential here. He'll want to run it down. Hauser, they want to go at him. They will give up the switch easily. Down to 6. Irving going right. Goes in, and he finished. Porzingis did not come over that time.
And I don't understand giving up the switch that easily when there's so much time on the shot clock and they want to hold it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's Horford, though. He's going to get open in the corner, and that rattles home. Poor transition defense. Dallas trying to come right back. Green gets a man in the air. He jumped in to Porzingis, and I don't love that call. I think Porzingis is jumping in front of him if he does a normal shooting motion, but he's kind of pulling up here, still going forward.
I would want a different angle on that if I was going to challenge.
I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get.
I think he'd lose the challenge.
The arm kind of good job by Josh Green getting ready to shoot it, but maybe he shot it too quickly because he missed another free throw. Yeah, I mean, Porzingis here, though, on that hedge, all right, you want a hedge, that's fine, but then run alongside Kyrie Irving, or why don't they just trap him? Make Maxi Kleber beat you. If Porzingis is actually worried about Kleber at the top, they've showed they're not going to do that.
Jason Kidd making a sub with 0.1 left.
These are just brilliant subs.
Good job, Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy gets that +1 on the box score. And so we are done with 1 quarter. It is Mavericks 28, Celtics 25. A little bit on the shot chart so far. Dallas 2 of 3 in the restricted area, 5 of 9 in the upper paint, 2 of 4 mid-rangers, 2 of 5 above the break, 0 corner threes, only 2 corner threes for the Celtics. They've split those. The only made 3 they have is from the corner. That was the one by Al Horford that we just saw. And then the Celtics 4 of 6 in the restricted area, 0 for 1 mid-range, 0 for 1 upper paint, 2 for 3 mid-range. And yeah, that 1 for 9 from 3. And that's a part of why Boston, they only have 4 assists, but they have 4 assists on 7 made baskets because they have 10 of their points for the free throw line. Are we looking forward to the Olympics? How will Duncan be covering it? I can answer the first part easily, which is that we are looking forward to it. The Olympics are very fun, and it should be a notable group of teams. We're still waiting on whether some important players like Jokic are going to play, but I'm excited about it. How Duncan's going to be covering it will probably be a little bit of a work in progress, in terms of like how much we want to do. My instinct is maybe I have to talk to Nate about this because we'll see where kind of things are for our personal lives and everything like that. Is maybe get into it around the kind of the elimination stage, and that we won't focus as much in the group stage. That seems like a potential way that we would handle it. But of course, listeners to the pod, subscribers will know at that juncture.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see how interested I am. I mean, we haven't really done the last couple of World Cups, and because nobody's really brought their A team, so I just haven't been as interested in it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's especially if there are like really good matchups that are really interesting. Like, it's probably incumbent on us to cover it in some form or fashion.
Who do you think the Celtics' best player is? Jason Tatum. He's their best player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he. That doesn't mean he's their best player in every game or in every series, but he is their best player overall.
So let's catch up here. Mavs 28, Boston 25. Mavs have fouled a lot. They're not going to keep doing that. Boston is only 1-9 from three. I think their looks have been decent. But I think Dallas has defended about the way they did after the first quarter game one, which was like not so bad that they can't win games in this series. I don't think that Dallas has been, particularly amazing offensively. They're 2 of 5. They've only got up 5 threes. They're 2 of 5. Luka and Kyrie have made very difficult shots. I think Boston can execute better with getting a little more help at the rim on Kyrie. Those guys have attacked more. They looked at the film and they saw it was available. They combined for 21 points in the first half or first quarter. So I think like this is kind of an equilibrium that I thought this series might be at, and I think it's still advantage Boston, but also that Dallas is like playing well enough that they absolutely could win games with this sort of an equilibrium, what we've seen, even if you kind of normalize out some of the other stuff.
There's been more Gafford than I would like for the Mavericks, but Kleba having real limitations.
Yeah, Kleba sucking is kind of a problem.
Yeah, it might end up being a bigger problem than my issues with Gafford.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Dallas can like really start shutting them down. I don't know if that's the case. So this is Pritchard getting some time here, guarded by Doncic, and they get Doncic switched on to Tatum. Pritchard going to just go at Washington. Now Braun. They got Braun and Tatum both out there to start the second. White hanging out in the short corner like he's playing in a high school offense against a 2-3 zone, but he makes a little corner jumper. Screen for Luka with there. I like that. Off ball, getting him the ball against Pritchard closer, and he could just shoot right over him. That was excellent. That was exactly the sort of thing I was talking about that they needed to do more of. And I think if you're Boston, just get through that screen or double team him there. Make him throw it to the guy who just set that screen. Oh, nice pass there as Lively was completely unawares on the baseline. He was guarding Porzingis, but he really needed to rotate down as the low man.
And that was also good use of attacking Kyrie Irving's foul trouble.
There's another off-ball screen for Doncic. They couldn't get through it. They didn't want to switch, and he gets a three. And Dante Exum is in. We'll see how they want to guard him. Tatum, blow by on Washington. Washington got back in front. Good help from Lively, but that leads to this wide open three. But the Celtics keep missing those. Exum trying to give him some pace in transition. And he either double dribbled or lost it out of bounds. One was going to happen before the other.
This wasn't an example of it, but I'm surprised that this crew's been letting a lot of on-ball contact go.
Oh, and Brown just lost the ball. He thought he got bumped. Yeah, watch this here. Look at Luka underneath. Nice screen by Washington. Pritchard doesn't see it. It doesn't help, and they get Luka wide open three. Same thing they just did again. This time, Brown gets through it off the ball. Luka working to his spot. Pump fake, another tough Dirk bait, and he knocks that too.
And the balance on those shots. I mean, Jaylen Brown doesn't really get much separation there, but still has enough to get the shot off.
Yeah, Luka's got 20 points, Danny.
Pretty good.
He's got 7 in the quarter already in just the first 2 minutes. Porzingis tried to draw a foul. Now he'll set the screen for White. White switched on to. They get it to nobody.
Yeah,
I think they were trying to throw it to the corner.
He overthrew Porzingis there. I think he was trying to get it to Porzingis, but kind of threw it between the two Celtics.
Yeah. I mean, this is an incredibly difficult shot by Doncic, but Dallas's defense is working reasonably well. And I think, Luka and Kyrie can hit a bunch of tough shots and win them games if the defense holds up. Now here they go after Porzingis. That misses, though. Doncic was feeling it after scoring 7 straight to start the quarter. Tatum going after Kyrie right down the lane, scoops around Luka easily, and look where Lively is standing there outside the three-point line on Porzingis. Pritchard trying to keep Kyrie off that right hand. Not a ton of help waiting. Kyrie working. Tough shot. Not a tough make. Rebounded by Holiday, who's back in with the 2 fouls. Get it to Porzingis. He's got Kyrie on him. Kyrie goes for the steal. Porzingis into the lane and scores easily. Kyrie with the gamble. With the 2 fouls, Kyrie has been pretty flammable. Braun even beat him pretty easily. He just lost it on that other possession. Luka working on Tatum. He corkscrews the shot around Tatum. That was a better contest. Then he goes for a bad offensive rebound. He's behind. Porzingis looking a little tired. Tatum, yep, he's wide open in the corner and can't cash out. Oh, but there's Kyrie beaten by Pritchard, who's a sneaky offensive rebounder. Now it's Holiday. Likes this matchup, but White Caspi cut right into him. Now it's Tatum. He goes right in. Goes for another spinning floater, and he just doesn't need a double pump there. You got to go up strong. Here's Washington. And that's going to be offensive foul on Lively. He ran through Porzingis on the little Gortat screen.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, really good job by Porzingis to fall down there, highlighting what was happening. And that's one where I don't mind the flop because he is being impeded, but you're not drawing the referee's attention to it unless you fall down. I mean, he could not have moved off of him to contest. Into the post, Tatum against Lively. Interesting matchup here. They got 3 guys around Tatum. Tatum bullying in, corner White. Oh, that's a quick release. Beautiful basketball by Derek White.
And PJ Washington doesn't need to react with that much urgency on that play. It's covered.
Yeah, you do have a 7-footer guarding Tatum as he tries to back
with
down.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah. Now Luka guarded by Holiday. Horford coming over to help. Luka staying on the ball. Looks for a pass. Impossible pass to Washington. Washington can't get it. Tipped out by Lively. Lost by Jones. Horford has it wide open ahead to White. He gets inside on Washington. Stopped nicely by Washington. No foul.
And is this Boston's first lead of the game?
I think it is. They maybe had one very early. Now Tatum working on Doncic. Gets past a beautiful fake step back. Thought he got fouled. Complains. Dallas has transition. Doncic goes into White. White stood tall. Here's Lively fighting it up. That misses. Still loose. Horford. That beautiful save.
And Nate, that was Peyton Pritchard getting back. He made that all happen.
Yeah, and as did White's verticality on Doncic, and Mazzulla, sensing the frantic nature of things, will take a timeout here. They're an automatic timeout with 7 left.
On that last play, Peyton Pritchard ran back despite not really having an advantage and just like being there. And he just caused a little bit of commotion. And Al Horford contested the first shot. Pritchard was there. That also Dallas missed shots they should have normally made. But that he helped get a stop there, which could end up being really important.
Yeah, I do think it was White who actually got the verticality on the initial play where Luka had to pass off. Usually he's just like, against a small guy like that, he's just going to score. White just continues to be an excellent help defender. So, yeah, it's a nice run here by Boston. Hitting that corner 3 by White really helps. They're 2 of 12 right now. Mavs 1 of 4 in the period. And still, you think at some point, Danny, the other guys in the Mavs are going to have to make a reasonable amount of threes. Those guys have 1. Doncic has 2. That's it for them right now.
Yeah, and they had very few attempts. I mean, I think Derek Jones Jr. had 1 or 0 in game 1. What is the rationale for keeping Derek Jones Jr. on the floor? He seems awful. He's one of their best defensive players. The Celtics have a lot of hard guys to defend. I mean, you need guys
I
like
mean,
that.
who are you going to replace him with? That's question number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Hardy had some struggles in game 1. Exum has some limitations. Like, I mean, and Kleba has been mostly awful.
Can you explain what an automatic timeout is? Yeah, basically, and it's really dumb to me that the NBA does this. I like the way college does it better. That each team is essentially required to take 1 timeout per quarter. So the first timeout that each team is going to take in a quarter is one that they would have lost anyway, and it triggers a commercial. Normally, that timeout is forced to be taken at the under 7 and under 3 if one has not been taken already in that time frame.
So the way that I've said before, the way that I believe this should be logged is that basically those timeouts just happen and they don't get logged in any ledger, and then you just have discretionaries remaining.
Yeah, I mean, the same way as in college, they have the
Yep.
TV timeout at the first stoppage at a certain time, and then timeouts also are just like this is the only like why they show up as a timeout that you have left that you can take is just like don't have it. Like it just makes calculating it all so much more difficult. So yeah, there's it's pretty difficult to understand. I lose track of it all the time, even now, and this is my job. So it's pretty dumb that that's the system.
Yeah. That between that and not having fouls drawn logged as a stat, those are two of the low hanging fruit things that I wish the NBA could improve on in the by next year. Crazy that on top of everything else he does for the team, Derek White is also one of the best shooters in the league. His development there is so impressive and has made him just a fundamentally different player. And I mean, it's gotten to the point where, like, when you and I do position rankings, we're just like, well, where do we put this dude? Because he's so good at what he does well. And while Derek White, I don't believe that he can run an NBA offense at a high level, he can do everything else that you need a guard to do and does almost all of those things incredibly well.
Back to work here. Tatum going at Doncic. They get him in rotation off of that little pick and pop. Holiday just working through on Washington. Washington defended much better. That's a perfect example. There's White just has to fire. He almost made that. But that's a perfect example, Danny, of the play better adjustment. Like Holiday beat Washington on that exact same move in game 1, and Washington defended him, and they got nothing out of that play. Luka with Kleba back in the game. They're going to try to go 5 out here for the first time. Backing down on Tatum. Lakelock is going to go right shoulder Dirk fade, and we're going to get a legal defense on Horford that is an absolute killer given where it was in the shot clock.
Why is Luka taking this free throw?
I actually don't think they have a better option on the floor right now. Yeah, they don't.
Isn't Kyrie or
no,
is he at the table?
He's at the table.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Green, and he missed it, but Green, Jones, Washington, and Kleba.
Yeah, that's not a great free throw shooting group.
Yeah, so Doncic got up to 20 points with 7 quickly here, and he's missed a few now. Back to 14 on the shot clock. Luka, Tatum switching on to him. Holiday trying to hang out in the lane and help. Kleba trying to seal him off. That didn't work. Green, good contest by Horford. That's not a shot that Josh Green is going to make. Now it's Braun trying to bully through Jones. Yes! The beautiful WNBA through again. Yeah, it was fantastic. And again, the 5-out spacing by the Celtics, there's just nobody there. Pritchard does not switch this time. He's guarding Irving, too. That's interesting. Now Doncic getting past Braun. Good help by Holiday, leaving Green open in the corner. He can't get it. That's where they like it. Nice rebound by Jones. Green on the finish. Great cut by him. Great rebound by Jones. That's been a big improvement area for Dallas, the offensive glass here in the first. Now Braun working on Kyrie, here's Pritchard. He'll just go right in. Pass was too slow to Holiday. Holiday working around, stepped around Irving. They got to keep going after Kyrie, I think, even more than Luka. Kyrie is getting blown by every single time.
Particularly with no rim protection in there. I mean, Kleber can
yeah.
do a little bit, but this you can just get there.
Holiday hanging out at the nail. Jones on the cut. That's another thing they looked at, I think, to see that there might be cutting opportunities for him. Here's Brown. Has to kick it out. Can Tatum save it? He cannot. It goes right to Jones. Is he going to score on Tatum? Goes in. Right hand finish. And one.
Tatum's complaining about it. His right hand was around Derek Jones Jr.'s back, and the referee is exactly on that angle. I don't know if the contact was sufficient, but they're going to call this every time. Watch if they show on the turnover. Watch Jason Tatum's right hand.
That was great defense by Jones there, Danny. First, to make the pass to Tatum harder, and then to not go after the ball and go back to who Tatum was trying to find with the pass and intercept it. And then he finished beautifully with the right hand, which he is not known for. Dallas back up 2. Yeah, Boston getting some decent drives, but Dallas's rotations, overall intensity have been much better. Now there's a blow by Holiday. Help. Nice help by Kleber twice. Back to Holiday. Ooh. What a passing sequence that was by Boston. But at least Kleber made it tough for them a couple of times. Yeah, they've got Pritchard on Washington right now. Kyrie switched on to by Tatum. Holiday, again, is just hanging out in the paint. Kyrie left it short. Yeah, when Holiday is just standing Kyle Lowry style right at the free throw line on these drives. Tatum working on Kyrie, steps through, left it for Horford, who finishes nicely. No, they're going to say a push underneath on the pass by Tatum.
And Kyrie's defense continues to be absolutely terrible in the second quarter.
Yeah, this actually is not that bad.
Except that he fouled him. They called it on Kleber, or did they call it on Kleber? Yes, they did. So that is Kleber's third. That could have
that probably should have been a foul too. Drew Holiday is a guy who I probably sympathize with the most about when he complains about not getting calls. Lively is back in. He hasn't played much in this quarter. Here's a step back by Tatum. Second one he's taken over him. Holiday at the nail with the rebound. He'll go up over Irving. Pritchard tried to go get the rebound. Now Dallas with a little bit of transition. And I think we're going to get a timeout here by Jason Kidd.
Yeah, first I'm like, Josh Green's wide open. Then I'm like, probably wouldn't want to get to him anyway. Let me see if any of the cleaning the glass stuff is standing out now that we have a larger sample. Dallas, 90 first shot half-court offensive rating so far, 97.3 for Boston, but Dallas only has a 100 offensive rating in transition so far. It's been getting some offensive rebounds has really helped getting, yeah, I mean, that's probably been a big part of the story for them.
Just taking a couple of notes here.
What do you guys think about the only show good film strategy? I think that it depends. Coaches, it's very important to know the psyche of your own players and your team collectively. And it could be a circumstance where, like, some guys, there's positive and negative feedback, and you could think about this in whatever kind of interactions you have within your life. And it's important to know what way of feedback is best for each individual. And so there are players where there are people who that works better for them. And there are some who negative feedback works, or maybe they obsess over it and everything else like that. So especially at like the lower levels, I think focusing on the positive is a good thing, unless you know it's somebody who can get coached in that way, in the more negative way. But it's not a hard and fast rule for me with any individual, much less any whole team. Do you feel confident as the Celtics playing horrible but still that? I don't think they've played horribly at all. I think that they've missed shots that they normally make, 2 of 14 from 3, but their defensive execution has been relatively good. But if we're talking about the run of play so far, to me, the Boston has gotten better shots overall, and the free throws help. Though Dallas has actually taken more free throws than Boston now in this game. They've just missed 6. They're 5 of 11, and Boston is 10 of 10. But Dallas can win games even if the other team takes better shots than them because they have better tough shot makers. Still, Boston being at home, having these issues, and still being tied. Like, I think this game is advantage Boston.
Yeah, I would say so. Also, there could be a possibility of Luka wearing down. Like
Sure.
he is not had to do as much as he had to do, back in like the 20 and 21 playoffs. And now he and Kyrie have to create everything. But yeah, I mean, I think Dawson is playing a little bit better. They've got a little more depth. Porzingis hasn't played that much. They definitely have looked better with him out there. So they'll probably close the half here. So like they could hopefully up his minutes some in the second half if they need to. If it gets now, I mean, you don't want it to be too close because Luka and Kyrie in a close game are. I don't know if it's advantage Dallas, but you certainly don't want to fuck with that. So I think, I think Boston's playing a little bit better, but this game is more kind of what I expected from this series, like pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Dallas is, yeah.
And on that front from Daniel said that things just seem so difficult for the Mavs. Do you think they could win 4 in the series? And I do. It is advantage Celtics, and as somebody who picked the Mavs in the series, like I don't feel great about that. But this game is tied. They've played a lot better since the first quarter of game 1, which counts, but they've largely played even during that. And I think that that's closer to the line with series, and it doesn't take too much from that juncture to win 4 out of 6.
Yeah, so here is the close the half lineup for Boston and probably the best group for Dallas as well. Big 4 minutes coming up here. Porzingis dropping off. Tatum gets back to him. Jones Jr. above the break 3. Big one. Not even close. Boston defended that beautifully. Here's Brown against Jones. He should get off the ball here, attack one of the weak links. Tatum does that. Underneath Holiday, beautiful lefty reverse. And that time, Derek Lively did not defend well enough on the perimeter. Now Kyrie trying to get physical and attack. Holiday, look, he's coming over again off of Washington. Kyrie fades away. Nice tip away by Porzingis. That was not a goaltend. Now it's Brown. Accelerates down that right side. So corner was filled late. He almost traveled. Yeah, that Boston didn't run fast enough with him.
If he had gone up for a shot there, he would have gotten a foul on Luka.
There's White, same shot he just took. It's interesting how much Boston's guards have been hanging out in the paint. Or close to it. Here's Doncic. They set that screen high, and there's the first alley-oop dunk of the series. I would say there that Tatum was not paying enough attention, but setting that screen high with Porzingis' man opens everything up. Is Tatum, is he going to just hold the ball here this whole possession? Finally, they go at Luka. Here's Holiday. Going past Luka on the move. Floats it up. Easy finish there. And that's beautiful offense to just not just go at Luka one-on-one, but just go screen out of there. Just have him a little bit behind you. And now you can really blow by because he's awful in space. Here's Doncic going after Porzingis again, and he fires and scores. That was Lively being guarded by Porzingis. I'm not sure why.
And those are Luka's first points since the beginning of this quarter.
Now Tatum going after Luka again through Holiday. Tatum crossing over into the lane, goes right through. That's a foul and one. Reach in by Jones. He does a weak wave away, but that's an obvious foul. Yeah, he got him twice. So this has been pretty interesting, Danny. I think this stretch has not been very positive at all for Dallas's defense.
Boston's kind of figuring out the process, understanding what they can get to. I agree. And getting from here to better is personnel and also execution. It's a lot to ask. Boston's a notoriously hard team to defend.
Boston now in the bonus. Tatum struggling to make shots, but I think he's been pretty good overall as a distributor, as you see with the 7 assists. Now he's guarding Irving. Irving in isolation mode. Tries to get back to that step back, going right. Doesn't let him have it, but it's Lively on the ball. Jones Jr. resets. Oh, no. Holiday ran him off of there beautifully. Now it's Irving stepping back, and Mavs actually have had a lot of shots roll in, haven't they? Probably like 4 or 5 in this first half. That's I mean, I don't know how predictive that is in the future. They are taking shorter shots. They have good shooters, but still.
As the Mavs, would you rather have a contested Kyrie mid-ranger or an open Derek Jones Jr. corner 3 right now?
And that'll be free throws here as Brown goes down, fouled by Luka.
And that is Doncic's first personal foul. He can get them in bunches a little bit too. But I wouldn't right now with that only being his first. I think he'll be okay in this game.
So that with Jones Jr., as Kyrie eventually hits the fadeaway, but is a perfect example of why he doesn't get guarded. He gets thrown the ball in the corner. It's like, maybe I'll just kind of reset or something, but he's not, not making a great read. And so he takes this dribble, and Drew Holiday's like, oh, I can close you down. Part of what it is with reluctant shooters, it's not even necessarily like, are they going to make it or are they going to miss? It's, we can close you down if you get the ball there. We're not going to give up what would be a wide open shot for a good shooter because you're too slow. Your feet aren't quite ready yet. Maybe you're going to get psyched out a little bit and not like that is like just getting it out of your hands as quickly as possible, Sam Hauser style, and like just being ready to shoot the moment you catch the ball. When someone is willing to do that, it's so much harder to close them down.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's a
was
lane
I was wait
violation.
I was waiting to see if they would call that because BJ Washington was like he kind of fell over before the ball was in the air.
Yeah, he went for the box out early. Let's see. Yeah, everybody starts on the line though. I mean, why don't they? I just don't understand why they don't just enforce that. It's just a weird cultural thing about the NBA. Pre-switch here. Now they want to try to go after Horford after a second screener, trying to force Doncic right into the help. There's White sitting at his lap at the nail, but there's still good help on Washington. Washington drive. Stopped by White, no foul. Boston on the push. Braun is devastating in transition. Gafford busted it to get back. Now he's going to come over in the strong side zone. They get off the ball. Give it back to Braun against Luka. There we go. Good cut off by Luka. Spin move. Braun into the lane. Oh, he had Horford wide open in the corner. He just missed him. Now they'll get a wide open three out of this anyway because the churn was going. And Boston's offense has been absolutely unstoppable in the last 4 minutes or so. They're getting anything they want. Now Irving against Drew. Drew staying with them. Nice pass. White came over, but a foul is called, and they're going to say it's a goaltend, actually. I don't see why that is. Did he go up through the net?
Oh,
That
his
is.
thumb.
Oh,
His
yeah,
thumb did.
his right. His right thumb barely hits the rim. Wow. That's a good call. That's really hard to see. That was an unbelievable. That was an Alonzo Mourning block that even if you get your fingers 4 inches above the rim, they got to bring it to you. Here's Braun with 8 seconds against Luka. Gets past him again. Good help by Green. Kick out, though. Tatum didn't take the first one. Time running down. Gets in. Floats it up. And no foul. Yeah, Tatum needed to take that first shot. But nice response here by Boston. We'll be back in 13 minutes or so. All right, welcome back here. Second half about to get underway. And congrats on the Mavs for all these assists in the first half. But I still feel as though Boston is defending pretty darn well. I thought that their offense really got into gear in the last 4 minutes of the half. And guys like Holiday, White, like just they have so many options to go at Luka and Kyrie. Like those guys are going to have to be a lot better at individual defense. I think the rest of the Mavs are doing better, but those guys are going to have to do better too.
I mean, Luka 9 of 13 on some pretty tough shots so far.
And for Boston, they got to get Tatum going here. Now Holiday against Luka, hand back to Tatum. He'll fire the three. That's good action. Luka a little slow, and that was a good shot though, right there. Washington will bring it up. He's guarded by White. Washington has not been able to take advantage of the smaller defenders on him. It's been Pritchard a lot of the way. Gafford going post up here. Nice spin. And
how is that not a foul?
Finish.
Looked like Tatum got him on the arm.
Maybe he got a piece of it. But they actually went to that at the first play of game one, and they went right past him. Now Luka tipping it away from behind on Brown. Dallas looking to take the lead here. Luka plows into White. Going to set a snug pick and roll. Now he says, Gafford, go away. Luka backing down. Washington past Holiday. Pass fake. Beautiful work there by Washington.
Yeah, there was an interesting little fake there. Kind of froze the defenders in both directions because it looked like he was going to make the pass.
Yeah, I don't know that it was a fake out. I think he really was playing to pass, and then he just decided not to. Brown guarded by Washington. Tatum wants it. Brown goes the other direction. He almost lost it again. Has to get it to Tatum. Late clock. Tatum on the attack. Washington in his lap. Spins away. Kicks out. White, can he get it off? He can. Well short, but Holiday snuck in. And Tatum finishes for the and one. What a play by Drew Holiday. And that Dallas had a wonderful defensive possession. And these guard rebounders for Boston have been absolutely good. Watch Holiday here. They got two guys closing out on White. There's literally nobody there to box out on Holiday.
Since we're talking about offensive rebounding, it's always
and that's a third on Irving, by the way. Sorry.
It is a third on Irving. So both teams had 5 individually credited offensive rebounds in the first half, but Dallas had 9 team rebounds, offensive and defensive combined. So they have a 37-5 offensive rebound rate. Boston's at about 29.
Yeah, some of those are off their own missed first free throws, but now they're trying to get Gafford in the post again. Let's see if Tatum stands up a little bit more instead of just going for the reach. Gafford goes at him again. Very interesting. I mean, I wonder how many post-up possessions Daniel Gafford has had just going one-on-one like that. But, I mean, I keep going to it until it fails. And clearly, if it fails one time, they'll never go back to it. Here's Horford getting past Gafford in the corner. Corner Brown. Good closeout by Kyrie. Brown went down, no call. They try to load up to Luka. Oh, and Brown read him down. Great hustle there. Here's Horford leading the break. He leaves it for Holiday. He operated that beautifully.
And again, you force the defender to commit. Kyrie stayed with Horford, and then you do the little dump off. A great play by Horford.
Now Kyrie fires from the mesh point of the screen. Not there. Holiday has it. White running the floor on the right. Fatigue starting to set in here early in the third. 2 on the ball on Tatum. White in the corner. Yes, cashes out. Just the slightest help off that corner with the slip out of the screen. Kyrie felt a little tug towards the basket, and good pass by Tatum to get White the corner 3. Now Luka, good hands by Tatum. That's interesting there. They're changing up the coverage just enough to keep it interesting for Luka, and he saw it immediately, tried the pass, but Tatum got a hand on it.
And Derek White's release being so quick that even though that was an off pass, he still was able to get it off before the contest.
Trying to force Luka towards Tatum. Luka going to the tough fadeaway. Man, that's like the third or fourth of those, that specific move he's made. Luka on White. Now they got him on Tatum. They try to move out of it. I would go back to some zone here at some point if I were Dallas. I know they tried one possession of it and they made it 3. Oh, that's
foul.
Wow, how is that not a foul? I thought Gafford just plowed into him. Maybe he got the ball first. Here's Luka against Holiday. Into the corner. Good closeout by Horford. Back up top, Jones. Not going to take that shot. tries to work in a position on White. Not an advantage, almost throws it away. Irving accelerated to the ball nicely. Corner Washington for three, and rebounded by White. In and out for Washington.
And that was nearly a foul on Kyrie as well.
Now, Braun picked up on the perimeter by Gafford. Braun puts him in the mix. Help comes from Washington. Braun steps back nicely. Can't get it, though. Probably should have moved the ball there with two people coming over. And now they don't match up in transition. It's Jones. He misses. Horford can't run it down, and then Jones throws it away. And Holiday is going to get a transition take foul here on him in transition. Let's see who got that. Yeah, it was Washington. Total give up move. And he's tired right there. That's why that foul happens. Fatigue. That's a fatigue makes cowards of us all. More of a mental fatigue than a physical one. And they'll take a free throw here.
I think this is a useful big picture question. Is there a way for Dallas to leave Gafford lively on help defense and not stuck on Boston's quarter stretch five? Not a great one, which is why it's so hard for Dallas to make this work against the Boston Celtics. And that's why we thought Dallas would have more trouble against OKC than they did, but they aren't able to execute the same thing they did against the Thunder.
Yeah, what's the difference between mental and physical fatigue? I mean, probably a better way to say that would have been that the physical fatigue caused a mental mistake of committing that foul. Here's White. They blow the coverage there on the switch. They're getting into more ghost screens involving Luka now that have worked pretty well, but White just missed it. Luka double teamed. Now he finds Lively on the roll, and White got dunked on that time. And we're going to get a timeout here. I think they'll get Porzingis in the game or change up that coverage. I mean, it is amazing Luka's ability to suss this out. And because what they're doing there is they're kind of doing the like Phoenix with Mikal Bridges, switch off the send him backwards with what looks like a blitz, but then actually kind of back off, but don't actually switch it either. Just hang out at the foul line. So it's a very disguised coverage, and Luka's still able to get that pass right past everybody to Lively for a dunk.
Dallas has no answers with the role players unable to open threes. I mean, the role players haven't taken, in this game, they've taken more than they did in game one. Game one, it was like the attempts was the bigger story than the makes. I mean, yeah, that would help.
It doesn't help, but
Dallas has only attempted 4 corner threes in this entire game. Like, they're not getting the same shots. Part of that's because of where Boston is bringing their help from rather than where some of the other teams did. But, I mean, it's a challenge.
Do you think Chet at his peak will be a better offensive player than Porzingis? I do not.
No, I don't expect that he will be. And I like Chet with the ball in his hands more, like the passing and distribution and stuff. But the kind of the individual offensive game, like some of the like advantages created stuff, I like Porzingis better. And that also, Porzingis is a giant human being.
Well, the biggest thing is I just don't think he's ever going to be that type of shooter.
Yeah.
With that quick of a release.
It takes a lot to be as good as Porzingis has been as a shooter.
Chet just doesn't have that kind of scorer's mentality either. Like, he's never scored at that level. Like, Porzingis was a guy who had like usage rates in the high 20s. Mm-hmm. And like Chet, he's got to really, really improve his outside shot. Like, his release is slow. And like, I'd say Chet's like a little bit better at driving to the basket and decision making. I could possibly see Chet being having like more moves in the post.
He could be a better screener because he can't really be that much worse. Porzingis has improved since he was like 20. I used to just crush him for that. Let's see. Brown is having a horrible game. What is Dallas doing to neutralize him? Jaylen Brown, 8 points, 3 of 8 from the field. He's missed all 3 of his threes, and a couple of those were harder than his normal ones. He's worked hard defensively. It's Jaylen Brown they haven't been using him as the half-court engine as much in this game as at a couple moments they have. And so, I mean, they've gone with Tatum in some of those circumstances. They're kind of doing it otherwise.
Yeah, so I mean, it's incredible, Danny, given his shot diet, that Luka is 10 of 14 from the field. And he also now has 7 assists too. Like his passing has gotten a lot better. They're opening up a little bit more. Part of that, I think, is Boston been just, they're kind of changing up the coverage to change up. I mean, just to probably go back to what they've been doing as their primary later and just hope that it'll be more effective just by giving Luka fewer reps against it. So Porzingis is going to be in now. And Dallas is back in front now. And Tatum going to try to go at Doncic here. Spins, kicks out. Back to Porzingis. That's a good closeout by Luka. Celtics have it back, though. Tatum. See, like, why doesn't he just rip through and go? To just do that first move that he was going to do the first time instead of jab stepping first. Here's Porzingis from that short corner, and he does make that. Interestingly, Boston is actually up rather than Dallas. I was looking at my box score wrong. Off ball screen for Kyrie. Trying to force him to his left hand. He gets into the lane. Porzingis comes over. Kyrie missing again. Like they can make him shoot that step back going left rather than the lefty floater. And now they back off. And White was not even close. He's missed 2 off the dribble threes where he's not as effective. Screen up top for Luka going after Porzingis. That's what they're going to try to do every time, particularly after misses. Screen again. Porzingis backing off with White hanging out at the foul line. No advantage. He gets back to Washington. Washington drives. He floats up. His floater game's been good tonight.
Washington's driving 2-point game has been impressive overall in these playoffs.
Yeah, and Porzingis was stuck on the big, didn't come over. Here's Tatum again. Tries to go through, and he scored that. Nice move there. Sometimes I wonder, like, Jason Tatum is so effective not going with his first move. Like, if you ever actually did that aggressively every time, he would be so much more effective. But
and look at that. He didn't even use his off arm there.
He did. He got
not much. Not enough that it...
Yeah, he totally did. That's how he Washington go. He's using it every time. Come on, Danny. I know you wanted to think that, but you really do believe the good in people as Porzingis commits an asinine foul. So they're going with Kleba now at the 4. So this is probably their best defensive group they can put out there with Luka and Kyrie. We'll see what the offense looks like. Screen away for Kyrie. They topside him. Now he's going to just change sides of the floor. They open it up to force Porzingis to guard and pick and roll. Kleba, nope, intercepted. Kleba is the guy they're looking for there, and that is not going to be a transition take foul, but it should be. That should be in that they called it wrong, but that the interpretation should be changed.
Yeah, the rule, or you change the framing of the rule. And Tatum there did a nice job anticipating the behind the back pass, and it's a good example of something that I love about the NBA, which is that you get more familiar with players over the course of a series, and so some of those like pet moves that are surprising in game 1, they're not surprising in game 2.
Here's Tatum. He blew that finish for the 3rd time now. That exact same finish. Irving, what a cutoff that was by White on Irving at full speed. They double team. Jones above the break. Porzingis goes for the Cornet contest.
Oh, no.
Lively did save it. No, he did not.
No, Lively almost did the same thing as in the first half where he saves it under the offensive basket, but then throws it right to a Celtic. And move the camera people back, always. Yeah, he is standing on line.
So Dallas's offense starting to struggle a little bit now, midway through the 3rd. Tatum continues to struggle as well. He's having a rough game, but I think he's gotten decent enough looks. I think he's just missing shots, particularly around the rim. These haven't been even great contests. Here's Brown getting into the lane. Luka comes over, but Brown got him in the air, and that's again, like you're counting on Derrick Jones Jr. there to just be able to stay in front of Jaylen Brown. That's your best wing defender. He's given up penetration. Luka Doncic is the low man. Beautiful pump fake by Brown to put it away.
And we've talked about the Jaylen Brown using that WNBA step through move. There, it's just a basic hesitation. You have the defender who's trying to make the block. Derek Jones Jr. is, of course, a long, capable shot blocker, and you slow it down a little bit, make it work.
On the camera thing, they did. If you go back and look about, I don't know, this is maybe 12, 15 years ago that they changed the lanes to give more space. It used to be even worse. It was like a solid wall of camera people from like the basket stanchion out. And now at least there are escape lanes next to the stanchion. So you're hopefully only going to kill yourself like when you're going for a loose ball instead of like a layup. Although the stanchion is also probably too close as well. The Paul George thing was at a non-NBA standard basket
Correct.
at UNLV where they're playing an exhibition game. It was closer than normal, and I think that's part of why he had that compound fracture.
I can't answer this fully, but if Derek Lively was in this draft and you knew the result of his first year, where would he go? He'd be high. But that's in part because of my feelings on this draft class, and in part because I do really like Derek Lively.
Kyrie has been a non-factor or outright bad in every quarter of the series so far. That's not true. He started 4 or 5 in this game. He was good in the first quarter.
But then
But
his
yeah,
defense
other
was
than that, not
terrible in the
great.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think Dallas's defense has been like okay enough. What are the offensive ratings right now?
Let me pull them up. 105 for Dallas, 115 for Boston. First shot, half court, 93 for Dallas, 100 for the Celtics.
Yeah, and you're just like you see this Dallas offense and you're like, man, like I don't know how they could play much better. I mean, Luka's been incredible. Like Kyrie could make more of these step backs going
I mean,
left. Like they're doing a good job of defending him.
They are 4 of 17 on threes. That would do. They could do a little better there.
Yeah, but who's you're saying the role players could make a few more? Okay, a few more.
Yeah, like 1 or 2.
Would I say Tatum is an elite shooter? You know, I thought he was for the first couple of years of his career. He's always been a great free throw shooter, but he has oddly, you know, in that 2020 regular season before the bubble, he started making threes off the dribble, but he really hasn't been able to do that at an elite rate the last couple of years.
I can actually answer this one easily.
That was Dave Portnoy right there, I think, that they just showed.
I believe it was. Say who your favorite teams are. So I not only don't have a favorite team in the NBA, I never did because I didn't grow up watching basketball. I didn't get into it until college. So I've never had one. There are teams that I like to watch at a given time. There are players I like to watch, but I do not have a favorite team.
Yeah, and this is a good stat here. The Celtics are on pace for their worst three-point shooting night of the season by 5 percentage points, and they're still up 6. They're 4 of 23. So this one does feel like maybe it's hanging by a bit of a thread for Dallas at the moment because they're really going to get locked down now that they've only got one creator in. So no Exum this time. They're going Hardy for the first time in the game. They try to run the off-ball screening, and this time they don't switch it, and Hauser gave Luka the nice chuck, so no advantage. Now Lively will set the screen. They got Porzingis involved in pick and roll. Late clock. They get it to Lively. They're not going to get this off. Oh, Washington did. That was a good pass by Lively. I thought he was totally stuck there. Oh, Hauser was open in the corner. Braun didn't see him, but Luka goes for a dumb gamble, and now they're in rotation. Tatum on the drive, kicks out. They still got him in rotation. Porzingis from way out. They missed open guys, though, twice. Tatum had Hauser open in the corner, too. So Boston had a chance to go up 9 there. Tatum switched on to Luka here. Hauser waiting at the nail. Luka plows in. Hauser comes over. Luka throws a very speculative pass. That was awful, and Holiday's going to fish this away. And Luka's tried to throw that pass, but that is a give up pass right there. I hope someone's there. You know, usually he's much better with that. Here's Hardy, almost lost it on the baseline. Green is wide open, not even close. Good box out by Hauser on Lively. Lets Holiday get the board. Braun looking to post up on Green. They don't look that way. Throw it to him. Yeah, they should have thrown it earlier, though. He had better position, and they're going to, as Green was trying to get very physical with Braun, picks up a foul.
And that is the 5th foul on the Dallas Mavericks in this quarter. So this is going to be free throws.
I mean,
I
that
hadn't
pass has no chance right there. Like, you can if you can see that pass and you can throw it hard, it'll get through, but you can't lob that up in the air. You don't even know where the help defender is on that play. So this could be, I believe, our first double-digit advantage for either team tonight if Bron can knock these both.
That is correct.
And Kyrie is going to replace Luka here, and they really need an explosion from Kyrie Irving right now.
Dallas never led by more than 7.
Yep, another double-digit advantage. Luka getting a break, and that was kind of a tired turnover. This 8-0 run by Boston, haven't even made a 3 in it. Double screen to try to go at Porzingis. Moving screen set by Green, but they are going to bring help on Kyrie. He crosses up, and that was short. They were getting that bounce in the first half. They haven't so far in this third. Now Tatum just backing through Green, turns. I mean, there should be a cut happening there. There it is, and a layup. Another
And
timeout by Kidd, and this is really starting to get away from Dallas. They haven't scored in over 3 minutes now.
on top of that, I mean, yes, Dallas, I'm sure they hope they would be hitting better than 4 of 20 from 3 so far. Boston's 4 of 24. So it's not a circumstance where
And
like,
Boston
oh,
is a good shooting team. By the way, we haven't talked about this. Jrue Holiday has 23 points on 10 of 12 in this game.
yeah.
And he's only made 1 3. So he's just like getting layups against these dudes. A lot of it, he's almost finishing like a center on some of these plays.
Yeah, he's getting the kind of the opportunity buckets, the system stuff, attacking mismatches, attacking closeouts. He's done a really nice job. And of course, he's played wonderful defense as Jrue Holiday basically always does. If you could take any GM job right now, which team would it be? I've long said that my favorite would be like kind of building a team a little bit more from scratch. I have two that immediately sprang to mind. One is the Spurs because of Wembanyama, and the other is the Thunder because I think figuring out, and you and I, when we did their offseason, you were skeptical of me when I said this was going to be a long one. Like getting from where they are to the best possible version for the Thunder when you consider the resources is both incredibly significant for the league and also really, really hard. And I think that would be a fun job to have.
Luka's back in here now.
Simon says, "Be the Bulls, the fans would love me, and I could not possibly disappoint them more than they already are." Yeah, but you'd have Reinsdorf as your owner,
though.
yeah.
But we could do a better job of working for them, I think, than has been done so far. Doncic top-sided. They never switch back onto him, though, and he bangs a 3. That was a big miscommunication. They've been doing a lot more off-ball screening. Porzingis has been more involved defensively, although he's largely held up okay, but that was critical. Now they're going at Luka again, though, right back into the mix. Tatum backs off, crosses over, gets space, no help, easy finish. I mean, and Gafford has got to come over and give more help, but he's on Porzingis. You got to trust the small to get out there, but because the small is guarding Holiday in the dunker spot, here's Luka, and he's going to get crushed from behind. Nice cut there by Doncic with him being top-sided. Yeah, when Luka Doncic is cutting like that, you know the situation has gotten desperate for Dallas.
Quick note that Nate and I are intending to do our Dunked On live, I guess you would call it. We're going to do it as a YouTube show. We haven't squared up our timing yet, but maybe like a half an hour after this one ends.
Yeah.
So you can join us there, and you can of course spread the word and give thumbs up and all that fun stuff. It's something we've enjoyed doing for these playoff games, so we'll do it for the finals.
Yeah, so I would like to see Dallas just do a better job. Like Boston has had these little guards in the dunker spot, just like Oklahoma City. Like, start communicating better. Get that center guarding the little guard in the dunker spot. Is Doncic missing another free throw? Tatum, good push up. Exum is in. I do think they need to get more Exum here to just get some pace. He doesn't foul. but they're double team and Brown is wide open for three and he cashes out easily. Ahead to Exum. Exum again is going to try to get some pace. He's got Porzingis on him, interestingly. Doncic off the ball. Now he'll screen for Luka. Switches the angle. Luka looking to get downhill. He's got Exum wide open up top. Doesn't look that way. Stays on it. Now he throws it to him. Can Exum make a three? Yeah, he can. Like, that's a reason to go back to him over Jones, because he actually is a better shooter than Jones is.
And
like, I know he's missed. Oh, is he 0 for 6 in the playoffs or something? Like, he's a better shooter than him.
Well, also, Exum can dribble with confidence and he can help with transition.
Tatum backing up, wants to attack Doncic. Good crossover, gets past him, finds Porzingis. That's the right play. Gets Hauser for three, misses, but it's loose, and Holiday has another rebound at 25 feet from the basket. They get it to Tatum here. Gets past Irving, and he got it tipped away from behind. Tatum waiting to get back. Luka has it. Ahead to Gafford. He'll try Porzingis. No. Sir. Not happening. Here's the push ahead. Holiday goes right in, throws it to the corner. Hauser on the move to his right, left it short, over the head of Porzingis. Holiday should have taken that layup over Luka. Now Exum, nobody running with him. They're going to get the 2-for-1. Luka finding Washington, and we're going to get a blocking foul bailing out Washington as Porzingis had another great block. He's exhausted, but it was a excellent effort by him to get back after he went for the offensive board.
This is the second time the first one was the PJ Washington Derek White play where a defender committed a foul when the big would have blocked the shot anyway.
So Washington looking to cut it below double digits. Sorry, what were you saying?
PJ Washington's game overall, 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 of 5 from 2, and then we'll see what he does on these 2 free throws.
I mean, and Exum playing, I think, Kid really had lost confidence in him, but this is an acknowledgement that the likes of Kleba, Jones Jr., I know he's in right now, but to some degree, Hardaway Jr., obviously, that those guys now they're going to try for a 2-for-1 here. Good defense by Washington. Braun's still on the ball, though. Nice help. See, that pass needs to go to Horford in the opposite corner. Instead, Tatum fires the three, not close, but another offensive rebound back to Horford. Hauser corner, gets it off on Exum. That was a good closeout by Exum to make that a little more difficult, and Dallas has the last shot here.
And that's 0 for 5 from Sam Hauser on missed threes.
They want to go at Hauser through Kyrie. Trying to set the screen on the outside of Hauser. Now Kyrie says, go away. He'll try Holiday on his back. Holiday with I think that's his third foul of the game, reaching in. And this has been a very important response for Dallas, helped by some missed open threes by Boston. But they've gotten back into contact here late in the third, and Kidd had to sub Doncic back in to do it.
And so the fatigue could be a question there. Minute totals so far: Luka 31, Holiday 31, Brown and Tatum both 33, PJ 30, Irving 29, Derek White 26.
Yeah, I mean, for Boston, they've got 83 points. Their offense hasn't been terrible, but they're 6 of 30 from downtown. The free throws have kind of dried up a little bit. They do have 9 offensive rebounds.
Well, yeah, the free throws have really dried up. They had 10 in the first quarter, and they've had 8 since.
Yeah, a lot of those, of course, the off-ball fouls. Irving cuts it to a 6-point game. They get it into Pritchard. He's going to be hard-pressed to get something here. Does get it off. Oh, and it's in!
Oh.
What a shot from half court by Pritchard. Unbelievable that he made that off the glass. He was contested, too. He had to, bounce him backwards before he got that off. That is a massive shot to push it back to 9. Got the off arm in just a little bit, but that's a good enough contest from right there. And Dallas has got to feel pretty bad about that make, but they can feel pretty good about Boston being only right now 6 out of 30 from downtown. The box score had already updated to that, so they've made only 20% of their threes. But that is a killer to be down 9 after that nice little comeback to end the quarter.
And overall, that was a 29-23 third quarter in favor of the Celtics. Would have been 26-23, but alas, that's the way things go. Fewer Dallas offensive rebounds. The teams are actually tied at a 29.4% offensive rebound rate so far. And in that third quarter, Boston took 8 shots in the restricted area. They made 7 of those 8. They only took 2 other twos, which was 2 mid-rangers, which they split. And they generated 4 corner threes. So you look at that. So overall in the third quarter, Boston, they took 12 shots from what we consider like the most damaging place on the floor other than the free throw line. And they took 13 shots outside of that, most of which were above the ring threes, many of which could have gone in.
Another big aspect here has been the turnover battle, with Dallas actually up to 12 already, 6 by Luka, including some pretty atrocious ones. Again, it's been more on the pass than on the dribble, as it was in game 1. But that's been a subtle aspect of Boston being in front. Also, the offensive rebounds dried up some for Dallas here in the second half, and Boston continued getting theirs.
Furthermore, 7 of those are live ball, and Boston has a 200 offensive rating off of steals and a 67 offensive rebound off our offensive rating off of defensive rebounds, off live rebounds. So yeah, those have gone pretty well for them. Will asks, does Dallas bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. for some spacing offensive spark? They may try it. I mean, I personally think that Exum, because he actually defends, can do better there. The logic could be, and every once in a while this comes up, where it's like, having 2 bad defenders on the floor isn't as bad sometimes as having one, just because they can only attack one of them. It makes it easier for Boston, but Hardaway Jr. is so limited in those capacities, and you'd have to really believe that he's good offensively. And Hardaway, he's not as good at the offensive stuff that you think of as his forte to be confident. It's not like one of those like, oh, the guy hits 40% of his threes and takes movement ones, so you just have to have him on the floor. Like, he's just not as good at that stuff.
Oh, good point here that from Brian Robb, that Pritchard hadn't played in the second half until that possession.
Yeah, he checked in on the free throws. I hadn't noticed that. That's a great call.
Yeah, maybe they just know that he's like pretty good at those. Someone will probably ask that question afterwards. But getting one more shooter in is nice. Like, maybe he just practices those shots, or maybe they just wanted to get one of their other guys a little bit more rest. So another interesting thing, Porzingis plus 13. He's on 20 minutes right now. I'm guessing, high 20s is probably about his limit. I don't know that he can give them, 10 minutes.
No, I give him maybe 2 or 3 here, pull him, and then have him ready for the end of the game if you need it.
Yeah, he was looking pretty tired too by the end of that last stint. And yeah, Tatum on 33, Brown on 33. I mean, this last quarter here is, quite frankly, probably the series. I mean, there'll be moments after this, but I mean, Boston is 95% to win the series if they win this one. So they try to go after Pritchard first. Now Horford switching on to Luka. Horford has defended Luka pretty well. Tries to cross him over. Luka getting to his spot. He's got size, and he has to give it up. Whoa, what a pass. Brown wasn't even looking, and they score! Unbelievable. Just rabbit out of the hat at the end of the possession. And Brown, second time he's done a poor job of seeing ball in man and had a pass get whistled by his ear when he wasn't even looking. Screen for White here. They don't make contact. Backdoor Tatum. Oh, he traveled. Yeah, they call it.
Got it. Yeah, he didn't quite have the rhythm there and took the step before he dribbled.
I mean, look at that pass. And then this is another beautiful finish by Washington, too. What's he shooting, like upper paint? He's been great from there. Pritchard onto Doncic. Gets to his spot. Another Dirk fade. Misses. Tip Gafford. No. And Horford cleans up. Now they've got transition. Get ahead to Brown. Nobody's back. He goes through Exum. Great defense by Exum. Here's a firing 3 by Tatum. Another miss by Boston. Luka. White picked him up nicely in transition. Beautiful transition defense. Taken away from behind. Another turnover. They throw it ahead. Tatum back to Brown for the big crush. That was a huge sequence there.
Yeah, and I thought that could have been a foul on Pritchard. He kind of ran into Luka, but instead it's 2 points the other way.
Yeah, when Luka didn't even see him coming, it's hard to get that call. Tatum onto Kyrie, trying to post Gafford. Help comes. Gafford goes right through. He's been finishing really well. They got to keep exploring that for sure. Brown. Gafford switching on to him. Brown accelerates, gets the blow by. Kyrie comes over. Good kick out by Brown. Gafford late closing to the corner. That was an incredible pass by Brown. That was one of the best passes I've ever seen him throw, I would say. Brown is exhausted now. It's actually probably better that Pritchard is switching on to Luka here. Behind the back, another one by Luka. Too low for Exum to shoot that, though. Luka working again. Trying to work on Pritchard. Goes to that same move again. Left it well short. He's missed a couple of those now. Tatum on the push. He's got White in the corner. White blows in, kicks it back, and Brown. Yeah, you can see how tired he was. He's on the ball again, though. Horford had White up top. He'll take a three. And, man, the dam could break at any time for Boston right now.
But it's also 1 or 2 good possessions from Dallas from being a really tight game. I don't think Dallas is out of it.
Here's Irving getting the left hand. No, rebounded Gafford. Fouled.
And this has been a more assertive Daniel Gafford offensively. I've liked it. I still think that Boston can do more. Well, I mean, let's look at this pass from Jaylen Brown. They can do more to attack him defensively. They've been better in game 2. I think they can still do more.
Yeah, and Gafford just too slow on that rotation. Not something that he's very good at. Lively probably makes that one to Tatum in the corner. And it's been noted in the comments too. Oh, Dallas, they're shooting so poorly from the free throw line. That's what they do. Like they are a bad free throw shooting team. Like they have one good free throw shooter who plays for them right now. That's Irving. And there's another miss.
And it's also weird to me that with Daniel Gafford on the line, they're bringing Cleveland because they had Kyrie and Exum as the rebounders on that. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's a very decent chance that Daniel Gafford misses these. We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some big minutes here down the end. They are taking out Braun for now in favor of Holiday, but as soon as he's ready, he'll come back in. And of course, we have another 2 days off before the next game.
And this is no Luka on the floor.
Yeah, we may see a timeout here pretty quickly from Kidd. Lively couldn't get in because Gafford was the shooter. Pritchard switched on to by Kleba. Now Tatum on the attack. Goes through, kicks it to the corner. White, good close by Jones. White has to force up a floater. That was a very difficult shot. And it's an 11-point game.
Tatum was breaking to the corner there, but White, it would have been an awkward pass because the help was recovering.
They don't switch on Kyrie. Good job by White getting through the screen. Kyrie underneath Gafford. Crushes it. Gafford, he has been very good offensively in this game.
And a nice interior pass there, bounce pass from Kyrie. The bounce pass created the angle for Gafford to catch it and go right in with the dunk.
Trying to screen with Kleba's man. Now they step up with Horford. Tatum wants to go at Exum. We'll see if this is an advantage matchup. Kleba comes over to help. Tough fadeaway there by Tatum. He's got to find Holiday in the corner. Kleba is coming off Holiday to stand right under the basket. And now Irving with the blow by, and White upset with himself. Timeout Missoula as Dallas scores 4 straight, and Tatum took a really bad shot in between those two.
And I don't understand the process from Boston there. If you're trying to get a smaller guard onto Jason Tatum, work harder to get it to be Kyrie rather than Exum, because Exum can compete. He has better talent there.
Yeah, I think so. And Kyrie was on the ball with Pritchard.
Should Boston go to hack a Lively like OKC did? No, because they don't need to. Their defense is doing fine. Like it's not. And then you face Dallas's. I mean, it's not like Dallas's half-court defense has been impenetrable, but you do Haka to the main reason you do Haka is to get that player off the floor. And Lively's been good enough that you could make a slight motivation there. But the sacrifice is that you're trading transition opportunities for half court opportunities and the free throws at the line, you allow them to get into a rhythm. I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I would consider it in a situation where, let's say you're up by 10 with 3 minutes to go, or 3 minutes to go, but it's one of these games where it's like, you have a 135 offensive rating and they have a 125 offensive rating, right? And they're just scoring incredibly well. You don't feel like your defense has been that good to sort of minimize your downside risk. Maybe you would foul at that point. Or certainly if yourself are down also.
Well, and also like Daniel Gafford's been pretty good in this game. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a, and that's the other, like, you want to get the guy
Yeah.
off is like, who are they replacing him with? Would you want to finish with Lively or Gafford? I still think it's Lively because the what he provides for them defensively, like being able to get out and cover some of these things, are there. But I mean,
I mean, like Gafford has been
Gafford
their
has been better
second
in
best.
game 2, though. He's been
Yeah, yeah.
better than Lively. I'm just thinking I lean more heavily on who I think is the better player and the better fit for the series, and for me, that's still Derek Lively.
So
That's
I
a
imagine
good.
Porzingis will return now, and possibly Brown.
That's a quite the note from AJT that Boston, they're 26 of 37 overall in the game on twos. They're 19 to 24 in the restricted area. Then they've only taken 13 twos not in the restricted area, and they're 7 to 13 on those. That's how you can be this efficient when you're still not making any threes.
Boston's best player so far in the series, Brown. Yeah, I would say probably. Again, it's always tough. Like Ben Taylor talks about this latent value, right? Like you could say who's been their best player, but like Tatum has been driving a ton and distributing. He's been a good passer. Like if you just are like he hasn't been that efficient in his role, but also like he's still performing the role of the best offensive player.
And occupying the defenders, so that makes life easier for Jaylen Brown offensively and a few of those guys. Like Drew Holiday's been really efficient in this game, but the reason Drew Holiday's been so efficient is the attention that the other guys are generating.
So let's see it here now. It's a key stretch. Not sure who's on the floor yet for Boston. Yep, no Porzingis yet. Oh yeah, Porzingis and Horford. Okay, interesting. Yeah, going up against Kleva and Horford. Pick and pop Porzingis against Jones. Now he wants to hand off to White. Looking up, this is a set play to post up Porzingis against Kyrie. He's got to get better position. Late clock. White has to just gun it. Oh, and he makes it. Boston's 2 toughest threes of the game have got in. And that was good defense by Kyrie. He would not let them post up close enough to the rim to give Porzingis the ball. Now White gets through the screen nicely. Irving rejects. Gets a tough step back going left. He just hasn't made that. Gafford almost fouled in transition. If Horford goes down there, he probably gets a call. But it's risky. Tatum has Gafford on him. He's going to size him up. Gets passed into the left. Goes in, and he's fouled. And Irving came over. That's a yeoman's play by him. But look who it has to be, right? And I don't get why Daniel Gafford is like opened up in his stance there against Tatum. Like to just give him a driving lane. Once he gets going, he's going to just go by you. And there's no good other help in the room. Maybe the thought is that's going to be Kleba, but it ended up being Kyrie. And like Tatum, if he's getting close enough to take off for a two-handed dunk, the help has to meet him there earlier. So interesting. They were going to put Lively in, Danny, and with Gafford scoring, they haven't gone that way. So it seems like there's been an assessment that they want Gafford in more than Lively at this point.
Just quickly on this, do we talk about variance on twos too little? Obviously less than threes. Boston seems to be hot for two. They're getting really good twos, like the Drew Holiday shots and everything else. Like that's there. It.
Yeah.
I
think what from floater and particularly on 2-point jumpers, I think we do talk about it enough. A lot of people don't actually, but I think we do a pretty good job. Here's Irving working on Holiday one-on-one. This is not a good possession, and he's not even going to get a shot off. Now Luka has to do it. Spins around White. Good help from Brown. Luka tried to go through the arm. Couldn't get it. That was a great defensive possession, but Irving trying to go one-on-one against Holiday is not it. Tatum, nice crossover in transition into the lane again. Tries to fight up a left-handed shot. He's missed 4 of those now. Probably had a pass available at that point. Irving, oh, he's forced off the ball. Porzingis a little too slow rotating the corner, then too slow boxing out, and they give up the layup. That was Porzingis being a little slow that time. And that might be some rust there, just the recognition. And hopefully he's all right. He's limping a little bit. Into the corner. Holiday, he's going to fire a quick 3. Porzingis went after the rebound. Yeah, he's not moving incredibly well right now. That could be the calf. I want to try to go back and see next break what happened to him. Here's Doncic from way out. Nice rebound by Tatum.
I'd like to see. I'm a little worried at how lax Boston is being initiating their offense here.
Yeah, Porzingis still not moving well. He's just hanging out in the corner. Going after Irving here, but 7 to shoot. Brown floats it up and scores. They have been solid from floater range in this game, and now Dallas is in big trouble. They just haven't scored well enough again. Again? Try that. Irving going against Porzingis, and Porzingis could not stay with him that time. I'm worried about Porzingis, Danny.
I am too.
I think he might have tweaked that calf again. He's the way he's running is not looking good. He's trying to stay out there. Brown guarded by Luka.
Yeah, and his hands are on his knees the whole time.
Brown works into the lane. Porzingis did jump for that one.
No, I think they should take him out.
And yeah, I mean, he just gave up an alley-oop because he couldn't get back. Yeah, they're calling a timeout. He's limping to the. Let me see if I can catch what happened to him here. Excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's the if it was before or after the kind of the non-offensive rebound.
I watched his right foot here. Did he get stepped on, or his shoe kind of fell off? I guess I don't need to go back and look at it right now, but maybe it's something else. I'm gonna try to look at what at that replay they showed a little bit more. So like it looks like his right shoe almost like comes off there. Yeah, it looks to be like a right foot issue. Yeah, let's see if there's something on Twitter about what he's getting looked at on the bench or something.
Well, and I mean it's his right calf, so it's
yeah, could be. Yeah, it's definitely right foot, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just looking at the yeah, not seeing anything on Twitter about it or him like getting treatment or something, but yeah, it's my guess is it's like some kind of a right foot issue. Could be the calf, could be tweaking the calf again too. I don't know, but
yeah, and as Ennis said, I actually thought that at one point that he was moving his left leg was what was moving poorly. Well,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say hopefully we'll get a sense of it, but hopefully we don't. Hopefully he's feeling fine or not at the game. So we can kind of reset here a little bit. It is an 8-point lead for Boston, 97-89, 4:40 left. Nobody really in severe foul trouble here. Irving has 4. Nobody else has more than 3. Only one team foul for either squad so far, so it's likely that it'll only be in the last 2 minutes. There'll be some free throws. So Dallas needs to get something going here in the next probably like 3 to 4 possessions for me to feel good about
Yeah.
it.
Well, that was a critical 4 points in a row even there. I mean, being down 12 with 5 minutes left to score to go 4-0, like, this is much more manageable now. Even, like, if you think about just the win percentage, right? Like, the chances of you scoring the next 4 points over a 1-minute period are actually relatively low.
Somebody asked if an ankle roll is something that can get worse on a flight. It really depends on the severity of the ankle roll, but a lot of ankle sprains are significantly worse the next day. Like you could play on it and then it gets worse after that.
Hey, Bill, can I get some of those chocolate covered pretzels? Yeah, Porzingis is out. I don't think we see him again. We'll see. Luka is on Tatum here. Tatum repositions himself. Good dig by Jones. Back to Holiday. Holiday getting past Jones. Kicks out. White, he gets it off. Just missed it. And a rebound Gafford. They can cut it to a 2-possession game here. Good pressure by Holiday against Washington. Did he almost force a turnover? That was close to backcourt. They did force a turnover. What pressure by Holiday? They tried to get Washington to bring it up. Holiday, huge three, and that might be your game right there. That
What
was
a swing.
massive. A massive turnover. A massive play by Drew Holiday. And Derek White, too. Don't forget him. Now Irving against Holiday. They didn't get the switch. Irving, well contested. Can't get that contested three. Boston can get transition here. They're up 11. If it goes to 13 here, it's over. Tatum tried to dunk it. No foul. Back to Holiday. He's got White wide open up top for three. Good night.
And Drew Holiday there, not rushing it, just gets the rebound, sees there's 14 seconds left, and just finds Derek White, and we're done here.
And we got asked a lot, Danny. There are moments like in our chats or mailbags, like, should we be worried about Drew Holiday? Like, he's not really putting up the same stats. His usage is 10 points lower than it was last year. I'm like, he got kind of beat up by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that Thunder game. And I'm like, well, let's see in the playoffs. But still, the fact that he's going to just keep shooting and that he still is very good defensively, like he's even doing what he did in the regular season was such an upgrade. And he's probably the Celtic who's raised their game the most in the playoffs. And he's been unbelievable in this. I mean, he's been their best player tonight, you would have to say, right? Like we just got asked that question. And Drew Holiday, 26 points, 11 of 14 from the field, 3 assists, plus 13. Irving can't do anything against him in isolation, by the way. That's actually probably been my best prediction of this series so far, was that he would cause real problems for Irving and Irving was going to struggle. Irving is now 7 of 18 from the field after starting 4 of 5.
Yeah. Rest of game stat, not so great.
He hasn't made a 3 in the series.
Wow, that's true.
So it's a 14-point game here. We're about 3 minutes left. It would take a miracle at this point, and that's a good start. Jones lays it in. The Celtics wanted to travel. That was a nice little, that was actually a little kind of more of a Spain look, Danny, what you were calling for.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going 5 out now with Kleba. Boston will probably be in more of a no threes configuration. White into the lane. Luka didn't communicate at all. White missed it. Good box out against Tatum. Holiday picks up Luka full court. Here's Jones going at White, and White fouled him. Yeah, he wraps the left arm around, although it was not that what that was called, because it was the baseline official who couldn't see that who actually made the determination. I mean, that's not a foul though, from that angle. Oh, and hey, there's Jaylen Brown on a back cut again, by the way, Danny. Not seeing ball in man. Third time tonight. The Mavs seem to have actually, I don't know if they're going after Jaylen Brown specifically on back cuts, but I think that they've realized if you cut hard out of that with Braun being the primary defender on Luka, you should be able to get something. Luka is on Horford. They go towards him. Pass is too low for Horford, but they're still got plenty of time to work with. Backdoor Braun beats Luka. And
I thought he
Luka, nice
traveled.
veer back. That was a really nice peel switch by Luka to get that steal. Braun didn't see him. Braun has turned it over quite a bit. Dallas has scored 4 straight. Irving working on Tatum, tipped away from behind. A miserable game by Kyrie Irving against the Celtics defense that has thrown waves of defenders against him. Braun at Luka again. Luka stays in front of him. Braun tipped away, goes right to Horford. Tatum has to get this off, pulls up, short. But they did run the whole clock and not turn it over. Washington tries Braun behind the back. Braun getting back in good order, but a foul is called, and you can't give up. You don't want to give up a foul that quickly, but he had already gotten to the basket anyway.
And we have seen Boston's defense, and part of why they've been more porous is they've had no Porzingis.
That's an incredible tip away by Tatum on Kyrie. That replay they showed, that is just a masterful play. It's so hard to knock the ball away from someone like that without doing like the Matador reach around move and taking yourself totally out of position. He was actually in position and also was able to knock it away. So it wasn't even a gamble.
And the guy who does that the best is his teammate, Drew Holiday. Iguodala was ludicrously good at that too.
So it's down to 8 here with 1:49 remaining. Boston hasn't scored since that 3 to go up 14. Now it's Holiday wanting to go at Kyrie with Tatum off the switch. They're late clock. They try to get it into the post. Pass is way out of Tatum's bread box. They get it to Braun. Tough 3. Misses. But again, they're running down the entire clock here to get it under 90 seconds. Luke, again, they haven't given up a 3 yet. They'll give up a 3-point play here, though, to Doncic. Poor play by Horford there. Probably need to just let him go in that scenario. And it's been 8 in a row for Dallas, but this shows you how over it was when they've scored 8 points in 4 possessions, going on 9.
I mean,
and they're still in a very
doable
commanding position.
It's doable, but
Yeah, they may need to score a point. They might need to score a point. They've got
And I'd like to see. I know the benefit of running down the clock and limiting the number of possessions. At least try something early, because if you get a layup or a dunk,
it's even more important to run the clock down, though.
But if you can get a layup or a dunk early,
Tatum going to try Luka again. Kleba trying to gap. Tatum breaks Luka's ankles with that between the legs. Tries to dunk it. Jones stopped him. Dallas can get transition here. Could they get a 3? Washington.
Derek White
blocked. Unreal block from behind by White without fouling, and that's going to do it finally. Yeah, you have to run it under 26 seconds here. Braun blows by Kleba at Luka, finishes, and that will finally truly put it away. All they needed to do was score 2 points. That got a little closer than it had to, but it also in some ways shows the wisdom of just running the time down every possession without turning it over. Let's see this block. This is just ridiculous.
And yeah, Jaylen Brown touches PJ Washington's hand with the back. I don't think that was a foul. It's pretty soft contact.
Yeah, and White, I mean, that is just like, watch this next time when you watch the replays of his blocks, of just how fast he gets off the ground. Like, he doesn't need to bend deeply. Like, he just pops off the ground. He can be the second jumper be shorter than the guy and still get up higher than him. It's insane.
And he also has good hang time for a guard too, where there was that other play where he was up in the air longer and then got the swat on the way down.
Whew, man, it got a little close. So I'm trying to just wrap our heads around it here now. More likely a sweeper at going 7, I would say, as they get it into Luke here. He goes for the running one-legged 3. That missed. Holiday has it. Don't foul here, guys. Don't do it. Just don't. But the other thing we got to keep in mind, Danny, Porzingis is hurt. It wouldn't shock me if he doesn't play in the next game. I'm concerned about it. Like, things were going okay with Horford. They didn't want to give up threes. I get it. But I mean, Dallas had 98 points again, even with Luka and Kyrie starting off great. Both of them really fizzled out at the end. I mean, Luka has the 20 points. Luka Doncic had 20 points, 13 minutes of the game. He finishes with 32.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny, this is insane again. You remember how many 3-pointers non-Luka Mavericks made in game 1?
It was like 1 or 2, right?
During
the competitive portion.
The answer was 1 in the competitive portion of the game. I think they finished with 2. Josh Green hit a bullshit one. Non-Luka Doncic Mavericks made 2 3-pointers in this game again.
Yeah. And they took more of them in this one as well.
No, they didn't. They took 1 fewer. 6
really?
to 26. They took 27 in the first game. So clearly there's a certain formula defensively that Boston has been able to deploy that Dallas hasn't figured out. I mean, they may just have to do Hardaway Jr. at this point. I mean, they may just their offense is just so unhealthy. I mean, Boston shot 10 of 39 from 3, and this was Boston just like fucked around offensively in the last 3 minutes of the game, but this is a double-digit win again for Boston. So I don't know. We'll talk more about it on Dunked On here. We'll see you then. Not sure exactly when we're going to start, but probably.
Yeah, and we'll see you
30
here
minutes,
for Game 3. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell your friends, and you can tell your enemies too. But we'll see you then.
All right.